I'm a single mother to 4 kids, and I had all 4 children are with the same person. I was married to their father for 10 years. And one of the things that did keep me stuck was thinking, gosh, if I leave him, who's going to want me with 4 kids? Like, no one's going to want to date me. I'm going to have a hard time, blah, blah, blah.
You're like a specially trained super agent. You know that?
Okay, so let me get this straight. The biggest reason why you didn't want to divorce your husband was because you figured no man would want to date you because you had 4 kids? Well, congratulations, woman. You win the coveted Common Sense Award. Your prize is a half-eaten bag of chocolate coins sent to you via 4th-class mail from Micronesia. And between you, me, and the wall, you don't even deserve that because your biggest concern when it came to your divorce was whether or not you would find a man. Not how this would affect your 4 kids physically or mentally, and not how you would actually be able to take care of your 4 children, but whether or not you'd be able to date again. You know what? I've changed my mind. Once you get those chocolate coins, mail them back to Micronesia, because that cheap expired candy is worth more on the market than you could ever hope to accomplish.
First of all, loving myself was the main focus when I left, because I think that's the only way you're going to make any progress is learning how to like care for yourself the way you've cared for and poured into other people. But also, I have not had any problem dating people. There is a whole group of people that don't give a fuck if you have kids. They totally are like, yeah, that's your shit, your kids. I'm down to date you and just have a good time with you. And they kind of see you as separate, and it's not a big deal.
Oh, really?
So your primary goal when you decided to leave your ex and completely foobar your children's lives was to learn how to love yourself? So I guess you just assume that your kids will be fine without your participation then? Sure, why not? You left them a can of green beans and adult can opener. What's the worst that could possibly happen? Just so long as you get to go out and date dudes who are only interested in your diseased manhole of infinite disgust. I mean, they're just kids, right? They're only your legal responsibility, and their futures have been irreparably compromised simply because you wanted to improve yourself on a healing journey by having unlimited rides on the carousel. But I guess the safety and futures of your children aren't that important. What's more important is that you're still able to take men to bed even with your gray hairs and your less than mid looks. Priorities, am I right?
And for me especially, I'm not looking for a step parent for my kids. They have a father.
Liar, liar, liar.
However he is, that's their father. And I'm not looking for anybody to like another person to fucking co-parent with.
Liar, liar, liar.
So for me, it works out completely perfect that there's plenty of men that don't care that you have kids. So if that's one of your fears, especially with a lot of kids, it's you're good.
Are you sure?
Have you noticed when she refers to her kids, it's never in the first person? She was going on and on about how easy it is for her to bang countless men without any consequence, but she never brings up her children as my kids. It's as if there's just some minor inconvenience. She's not looking for a parent because she's relying on her ex to raise them and give her alimony payments while she goes off and parties nonstop. And she doesn't want another man to parent her kids, she just wants another man to pay for them. Because God forbid she takes any responsibility for her lack of good parenting. It's actually kind of disgusting how this hussy is able to just nonchalantly disregard her children like that. And in her mind's eye, sacrificing her children's well-being is a small price to pay just so long as she's happy. And that's pretty damn shameful.
Shame on you, and shame on you, and shame on your whole ill-mannered town.
Does that make sense for you as far as like why divorce is inherently more risky for men?
I just feel like you're saying because women tend to be the person who initiates a divorce, correct?
Yes.
That's why it's riskier for men, but why do women tend to end divorces?
What?
Yeah, why do women initiate the majority of divorces? Well, let me count the ways. Well, for starters, modern women have been brainwashed into thinking that if they are not head over heels in love every single day of their lives when in a marriage, then the marriage has ultimately failed and they need to move on to be happy. Or if the husband loses his job and the wife becomes the primary earner of the household income, she will perceive her husband to be less than a man and will divorce him because she believes she deserves better. Or lest we forget, the horrific trend of women who love bomb men, trick them into marriage, getting pregnant, pregnant and then making their husbands' lives miserable just so they can get alimony and child support in the legal extortion racket known as the American family court system. And the really depressing part is that's barely scratching the surface.
And with successful men that have money, they cheat.
She said it earlier.
They do all these things that women don't want to
She
put
said it
up
earlier.
with.
It's
So
a feeling.
why-
Feelings
yeah.
change from day to day.
Yeah,
time
so
to
I
time.
could have been in love with the person at the moment, but if that person is no longer treating me well just because we're married, I have to say no.
That's the
Because he
point.
can't be a good husband.
So as a man,
That's all I'm asking.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
So you're assuming that it's the husband's responsibility to make you happy? Under that rationale, if you have so much as a single bad day in the marriage, then it's failed and that's justified with a divorce. How in the hell does that work? Modern women want to believe that marriage is the ultimate symbol of love and happiness, but it's not. It used to be about trust and stability. That's why you would swear a lifelong oath of loyalty, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, and at no point do you get to say, till death do us part, or until I'm not feeling it anymore. You know what, maybe they should just add that to the vows anyways, because marriage is nothing more than a bureaucratic con job that's meant to pay for the retirement of a judge nowadays.
Asking.
if I marry you and
Yeah.
you decide, you know what, he's not the guy I thought he was anymore, I'm leaving. You take half my stuff and maybe.
Is there no risk
So?
without reward?
Oh, so what's
You married me, right?
no. So once again, this is why
You
men
wanted to marry me.
don't wanna
You
get married.
thought you loved me enough that it would be worth it to you to marry me and
so
take
real
the
quick,
risk.
hold on, stop the show. You just basically admitted it with your own words why guys don't get married.
Shut up! This is totally different!
Let's say a man decides to drink a pint of lead-based paint and think to himself, sure, let's go ahead and get a legally recognized marriage. What's the worst that could happen? Let's say that the marriage ends because the wife stubbed her toe and blamed the husband because she gave him a look 2 weeks ago to signify that she wanted him to move the nightstand. So he stands to lose a minimum of half of his financial assets. But let's say that the impossible feat of her being happy and head over heels in love every single day until the day she dies is somehow magically met. What's the reward? The husband gets to see her happy? Women can't even define what happiness even means, but that's not gonna stop them from blaming the poor guy when she doesn't get her way. She'll be hell-bent on ruining his life simply because he wasn't able to provide her with something that she's obligated to provide for herself.
Shut your dirty little mouth!
One thing I wish I would have known before I got my second divorce, or not known, but like believed, is that you can heal inside of a relationship. I think so many times we're stuck on this. I have to go find myself. I have to get divorced so I can heal a breakup. I have to be alone, whatever it may be. And it's just like simply not true.
Wow, that's fantastic work, man. You have the wisdom of a 6,000 or 7,000-year-old man. That's fantastic. We don't have to fill up the whole blackboard after all.
Jesus, it took you 2 divorces to actually learn that you're responsible for dealing with your own baggage? You had to ruin the lives of 2 men to realize something that most men have known for eons? When you allow a man entry into your life, one of your demands is that all of his past traumas must be fully healed. However, at no point do you think that you need to be held to the exact same standard. And because you don't hold yourself to the same standard, you find yourself completely justified in ending things the second that you think you need to be on your own to deal with your issues, completely oblivious to the fact that you should have already been working on that before getting into yet another failed marriage.
This is just so shocking. I mean, I must just be so monumentally naive.
You are.
Not saying that it's wrong. I obviously took the route of I'm gonna leave so I can heal. However, like, what if I had believed that like I could heal? I could have healed inside that relationship, that I didn't have to go and be single and be alone. I don't know. And so if you're a woman who is within a relationship, you don't really want to get divorced, but you think the only way to heal is to get divorced, I just want to encourage you that it's not the only way.
Huh. So this is what it's like to get hit in the face with a brick of pure stupidity. Lady, I could straight up be plastered off of some intergalactic space rum and what you said still would not make a lick of sense. How can it be that a woman doesn't want to get a divorce but feels like that's the only way that she can deal with her crap? If anything, that just adds more baggage to the cart. No, if she feels like the only way for her to get over her trauma is to be alone, then she wants to get that divorce. That way she can justify her pathetic attempts to get with Chad only for her to turn around and make viral TikToks about how unfair it is to be a divorced woman in her late 30s. It's a vicious cycle. A viciously hilarious cycle.
You can absolutely heal and grow and have the life that you want inside that marriage too. If that's what you guys both want. You know? Or you can leave and heal on your own and have the best life by yourself. I support both. Do you, babes?
I hate to break it to you, Toots, but this isn't a grand realization. This is something that married people have known for literally centuries. Everybody has some form of baggage, but there is a difference between accepting some emotional support from the person you swore a lifelong commitment with and completely relying on them to deal with it on your behalf. And in all honesty, it's actually kind of amazing how it took you 2 divorces to come to this profound realization. But at the same time, I can't say I'm surprised either, because I gotta tell you, the fact that 2 husbands were able to put up with your crap for as long as they did is nothing short of a bloody miracle. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. As always, if you find that my particular brand of humor is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button and ring the notification bell so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.